Good afternoon, David Jackson. This is Crime and Criminology, my Unit 7 scholarly activity. So, social process theories have greatly influenced social policy. They've been applied in treatment orientations as well as community action policies. Control theory as a whole sees crime as a result of social institutions losing control over individuals. Travis Hirschi argued that criminal activities occur when an individual's attachment to society is weakened. This attachment depends on the strength of social bonds that hold people to society. He proposed 4 elements of social bonds: attachment, commitment, involvement, and belief. Attachment is our emotional ties to individual and peers, schools, and jobs. Those are things that we don't want to damage those relationships. With that connection, if they have a connection to you, they'll be watching you and they will not want to let them down. More attachment to peers are less likely to commit crimes. The commitment is the investment in the conventional goals and aspirations for success, fear of consequences, or what you have to lose. It's the rational component of the social bond. The more you're committed to the goals of society, the less likely they are to commit crime, because attachment and commitment work similar to your investments. A person can like their teacher, so they want to do well in school. This discourages delinquent behavior. Involvement are the conventional activities that make people too busy to be delinquent. Crime begins to decrease as people become busier with family, marriage, and employment. Finally, belief is the acceptance of conventional standards and the belief in morality. It can be how much you believe in what society values. For example, it's not okay to steal or commit violent acts. The more you buy into the consensus, the less likely you are to commit crimes. It also helps with being more honest and ethical. Social control theory is a theory that focuses on the techniques and the strategies that regulate human behavior and leads to conformity or an obedience to society's rules. The influence of family, school and religious beliefs, moral values, friends, or even beliefs about the government can influence a person's behavior. The more involved and committed a person is to conventional activities and values, the greater the attachment they have to their parents, school, and friends. The less likely you are to violate society's rules to jeopardize your relationships. You become a criminal when all of these controlling forces are absent. Social control defines what is right and what is a violation, what is right, what is wrong, and what is a violation of the law. Donald Black states that social control is found whenever people hold each other to standards, explicitly or implicitly, consciously or not, on the streets, in prison, at home, at a party. So there's some criticisms to the self-control theory. For one, it purports to address all crime, but is not empirically or logically supported. It accuses it of being tautological because it does not define self-control separately from the propensity to commit crime. Third, the vagueness of the term self-control and the difficulty in operationalizing it for measurement. And lastly, the original theory contains many paternalistic overtones, especially with regard to parental roles and the necessity of a two-parent household, which is regardless of how happy the members of the two-parent household are. So why is social control important? Well, without social control, social life would be unpredictable. Without that control, it creates stability. It creates nonconformity. It establishes nonconformity. It promotes unpredictability and generates deviance. Some expected findings and the type of analysis to be formed if we conducted a case study of social control theory. Well, Hirschi himself, he realized that deviance is a given, and that strong bonds lead to conformity while weak bonds lead to crime. Both Gottfredson and Hirschi said that and stated that low self-control explains criminal behavior. Self-control develops early in the socialization process and is stable over time. So a few questions related to social control theory. How did that self-control theory develop? Hirschi was inspired by social disorganization theory on the weakening of controls. And it set out to argue that controls are important to restrain criminal desires. Some of the basic assumptions of control theories is that all human beings are by nature rule breakers, that the motivations for delinquent and criminal behavior is a part of human nature, and that all individuals would naturally commit crimes if it's left in their own devices. Lastly, how is self-control theory different from social bonds theory? So for social bonds, those are located controlling a person's relation to society, which is external. Self-control is control inside the individual, which is internal. While Hirschi emphasized indirect control in social bonds theory, he asserted that direct control is the key to effective parenting in the self-control theory. Thank you.